semifinals. The first semifinal was on March 16th, and we had Juice Robinson going up against Hiroshi Tanahashi. Kind of an interesting start to this match. So on the tour leading up to this match and the preliminary tag team matches, Robinson and Tanahashi had been on the same team, and they'd sort of gotten at one another. You know, they're going to face each other in the semifinals, so they sort of got at one another, and I think it was Michael Elgin had to get between them there. Even though Juice Robinson and Tanahashi, they're both part of that factionless good guy sort of team with Michael Elgin and those guys. So they get at each other. Then to start this match, the semifinal match, they go to shake hands at the start of the match, and Tanahashi wants none of it, doesn't shake Juice Robinson's hand, and then wrestles like a heel for the first bit in the match. Doesn't give Juice a clean break. Targets his knee. They go on to have a 30-minute match, however, and Juice is in it the whole time, giving as good as he gets. The final sequence comes down to Tanahashi counters the Pulp Friction into a dragon suplex, then gives Juice the high fly flow to the back, then again the high fly flow to Juice while he's on his back for the 3 count. But then after the match, Tanahashi comes over and helps him up, and so there's the secondary story of the match where Tanahashi had lost some respect for Juice, but then Juice earned his respect back during the match. And then in the backstage area, they interviewed Juice after the match, and he was talking about how Tanahashi's a legend and someone he looks up to, and how he was really pleased with his performance, and so it was the moral victory for Juice Robinson, and just his second ever New Japan Cup. His first New Japan Cup was in 2017, right? Yeah. And he beat Takahashi in the first round, which is also what he did this year. But then he lost to Katsuyori Shibata in the second round, and Shibata would go on to win the whole thing. Juice wasn't in the New Japan Cup in 2016. Doesn't look like there. So Juice beat Takahashi in the first round, beat Michael Elgin in the second round, goes almost 30 minutes with Tanahashi in the main event, doesn't win, but earns the Aces respect. And so now you've got Tanahashi, who beat Taichi in the first round, beat Bad Luck Fale by countout in the second round, and then just beat Juice Robinson in the semifinals. Now, Tanahashi, he last won this tournament 10 years ago in 2018. And let's just look if we can see how many times he has won the New Japan Cup. And he definitely won it in 2000. He's won the G1 Climax twice. New Japan Cup 2005 and 2008. So he's a 2-time winner of the New Japan Cup. Now, if Tanahashi goes on to win the whole thing, there's 2 options. He could challenge Minoru Suzuki, who defeated him for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship. Although he should seemingly already be due a rematch for that. More on that title later. They're sort of setting something else up for that title. The other option, if Tanahashi wins the New Japan Cup, is that he would challenge Kazuchika Okada. Kevin Kelly had been playing up on commentary about how Tanahashi and Okada is the greatest rivalry of all time. It's a rivalry we haven't seen in 2 Tokyo Domes, at least. It was 3 Tokyo Dome main events ago, so 8, 9. In 2015, I guess it was. Yeah, because Okada and Omega main evented the Tokyo Dome in 2017. And then Naito and Okada in 2018. And then, so 2016, Okada finally beat Tanahashi in the Tokyo Dome. I don't think we've really seen the rivalry since then. Tanahashi, after getting beaten in the Tokyo Dome, after finally losing to Okada in the Tokyo Dome. He beat him twice in the Tokyo Dome, but that was before Okada had really hit his prime and before Tanahashi sort of fell out of his. So you could do that again. You could have a story for the summer where Tanahashi wants to chase that title for one more time. You know, can he do it now at the age of 41? You know, you could do that. That would be interesting. Tanahashi and Okada have been on opposite sides of tag team matches lately in the tournament. So that could be where they go. However, there was the second semifinal, which was on March 18th, and that pitted Zack Sabre Jr. up against Sonata. And Zack Sabre Jr. has been the story of the tournament so far. Kind of when the brackets came out, it was easy to write Zack Sabre Jr. off because he drew an opening round match with Tetsuya Naito. You're thinking, okay, Naito's a huge star. Possibly the biggest star they have that doesn't have a title. No, he is the biggest star they have that doesn't have a title. Maybe not the best wrestler in storyline, but... So you're thinking he's got to be one of the favorites when you just look at the brackets. You're like, okay, well, you got Tetsuya Naito. That's got to be a possibility there. Kota Ibushi, okay. So you didn't really look at Zack Sabre Jr. as like, okay, here's a guy that this tournament's really going to build. But that's what the story of the tournament has been so far. Zack Sabre Jr., Tetsuya Naito, the third night of the tournament in the main event. Naito, who won the G1 last year, main evented the Tokyo Dome this year, albeit in losing fashion. And here we go in the New Japan Cup. You think he's going to go deep in, but Zack Sabre Jr. just wrapped him up in different octopus-like holds for 22 minutes and then caused him to submit. And the story they've been building with Zack Sabre Jr. this whole time is that he can counter anything into a submission or pinning combination. This whole match with Sonata revolved around Zack Sabre Jr. reversing stuff. It did against Kota Ibushi too, but it seemed more so in this match. So Sonata, more than Naito or more than Kota Ibushi, I thought was showing an ability to go tit for tat with Zack Sabre Jr. in terms of grappling. I think that was because Sonata has a lot of submission holds too, in terms of like he's got the Paradise Lock and the Skull End. So they were kind of playing up that Sonata, can do this kind of stuff too, what Zack Sabre Jr. does. But Zack Sabre Jr. is the master of submissions, the master of reversals. And of course it's a more popular style in Europe, but Zack Sabre Jr. does it in such a creative way that he really stands out. All of his matches seem very unique. It seems like this tournament, what they've been trying to communicate in every Zack Sabre Jr. match is he can beat anybody. He can make anybody submit or cause a referee stoppage. And it seems like they're building Zack Sabre Jr. to go up a level. His stock has definitely risen since the start of this tournament. I mean, they've had him cleanly submit a former IWGP heavyweight champion, a former two-time G1 winner in Naito. That's a huge thing. Causing a referee stoppage against Kota Ibushi, that's a huge thing. And then in this match with Sonata Jr., he reversed the skull end 3 times. So, which kind of showed Sonata wasn't going to be able to use his best hold. Then he countered Sonata's moonsault, which is, like his second best move. He countered that into a triangle. And finally, in the final closing moments of the match, he had him in an octopus-type modified abdominal stretch. And every time Sonata would try to get a limb towards the ropes, Zack Sabre Jr. would grab that limb, tie it into the bow of limbs he had created with Sonata's body, until eventually Sonata only had one leg left. The ref asked him if he gave up. He said, yep. Zack Sabre Jr. advances to the finals to face Hiroshi Tanahashi. So that is our finals. On March 21st, it will be Zack Sabre Jr. against Hiroshi Tanahashi. So the 2 possible directions this can go is, one, you have this new threat to every singles title in New Japan Pro Wrestling in Zack Sabre Jr. Makes perfect sense that he's part of Suzuki-Gun, considering Minoru Suzuki's history with Pancrase, submission-based grappling. And you've got this guy who, if you're a UFC fan, it sort of reminds you about Damian Maia. Because when somebody fights Damian Maia, it's unlike any other fight they're going to have. You end up having to fight his style. So if Zack Sabre Jr. was to beat Hiroshi Tanahashi and then go on and face Kazuchika Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship match, you'd have this story of, Kazuchika Okada's the greatest, but what if he has to wrestle Zack Sabre Jr.'s style? Can he wrestle Zack Sabre Jr.'s style? Can he force Zack Sabre Jr. to wrestle his style? And if he can't, is Zack Sabre Jr. going to do to him what he did to Naito, Kota Ibushi, and now Sonata, and maybe Tanahashi? So you could go with the angle of Zack Sabre Jr. being this new threat to Kazuchika Okada's record-breaking title reign. And that's, I mean, that's the biggest story in New Japan Pro Wrestling, is Kazuchika Okada's title reign. 600 and a billion days old now. And we had a story up on this. He's still got to pass Tanahashi's title defense record for both in a single reign and both combined title defenses. He needs one more to tie Tanahashi's title defense record. His next title defense might be against Tanahashi if Tanahashi can beat Zack Sabre Jr. So that's the other option. If they don't go with Zack Sabre Jr. and really pull the thread or pull the cord on what they've built up throughout this tournament, the other idea is you go with Hiroshi Tanahashi. Can he stop Okada from tying his title defense record in a single reign, which I believe that's the case. I believe it's 11. I will click this up. Heavyweight Championship. And I believe the record is, okay, so Okada in this reign has defended it 10 times. And Tanahashi's record is 11, which started from Wrestle Kingdom 5 to the New Beginning in February 2012. So he held it for like 13 months. And he lost it to Okada. who then lost it to Tanahashi, who then lost it to Okada, who then lost it to AJ Styles. So easily that is a story they could do, is Tanahashi wins the New Japan Cup and then attempts to stop Okada from tying his title defense in a single reign record. In terms of combined title defenses, Okada is still 5 behind Tanahashi. So you could see Okada try and break that record around the Tokyo Dome show in 2019. So you could do that. You could have Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Okada with that title defense record on the line. The other idea is you just do Zack Sabre Jr. Coming in, looking like he's going to force Okada to wrestle a type of match he's not used to and could take the title from him. Either's interesting. You could do Tanahashi beat Zack Sabre Jr. here in the finals on the 21st. But then if you want to build Zack Sabre Jr. up after, you communicate to the fans that Zack Sabre Jr. has learned how to counter some hold of Tanahashi's that he didn't know how to before. Like maybe Tanahashi beats him with a high fly flow on the 21st. But then Zack Sabre Jr. later learns how to counter the high fly flow into something else. And so you build up Zack Sabre Jr. as, again, being this unbeatable submission master. I don't know. But those are the two possible directions. Tanahashi versus... Well, actually, no. Because they could choose to face another champion. So Zack Sabre Jr. could decide to face Hiroki Goto, for all we know. Or Hiroshi Tanahashi could win the tournament and decide he wants to go after Minoru Suzuki. So there's tons of different ways they could go. We're not going to know until the finals on the 21st. And whatever it is the winner says in their post-match speech. So a lot on the line in the New Japan Cup finals. Zack Sabre Jr., his stock has certainly risen in the last 3 matches he's had in the New Japan Cup. He'll go up against the aced Hiroshi Tanahashi. That's what's going on in the New Japan Cup.